Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Travis Told You, January 22nd, 2026, on a Thursday. I'm not used to that. I was about to say on a Wednesday, so that's why I paused. Hair looking a little crazy. Did you see that when it came out? My God, look at this, what I got going on. The girls last night had some fun painting my nails. Not used to it. It was like the first time in my life I had painted nails. They did a pretty good job. Look at all these different variations, whatnot. Very strange to see, but I hope everyone's having a great Thursday, a great week. Yes, I got the suit on. When I started, Travis Told You, I used to always wear the dress shirt or at least a polo. I wanted to be nice because in my real life, I do try to dress nicer now. It's just something when I was going through all the GV footage and I saw there was an error where I was just like wearing suits, everything like that. I was like, man, I look good. I like doing that. But at the same time, with the way life works and the kids here and the job, sometimes like the day job, sometimes it didn't work out to like get that or get it nice and pressed and not have any wrinkles and anything. So I'm like, okay, sometimes just got to go with what I'm wearing right now. But yeah, we're here to talk about the Oscars here today. Let me just get this out here. I hope everyone's doing well. You can go on the feeds right now, and we got tons of stuff. We got obviously Side Quest. That was a very Travis-centric show talking about Resident Evil, my kind of journey there, going back through it, that I've absolutely fallen back in love with that franchise. So I just finished 3 yesterday. Very excited to talk about that in the future. Let's see what else we got going on here. Tonight we are recording, so you can watch it live, but the patrons, you'll get it on the podcast feed earlier, and then for the main people, you'll get it cut out throughout the next few weeks. We're recording Golden Geeks. We do it in time with all the Oscar stuff, time it up, sync it up. The winners will be the same point there. We nominate what we think are the best actor, best film. I don't do director because you know how I do. I started the Golden Geeks. To me, best director is the person that made the best movie. That's how it is. Always same thing in the game, but all that stuff. So we're gonna be doing our version of the Oscars tonight. Golden Geeks 8 p.m. PST. If you don't catch it live, you'll have to catch it on Patreon the full episode, and then if not, you'll get it cut out over the next few weeks. Me and Taylor reviewed Fallout. Let's see what ooh, that's interesting. We really got to do this Bond draft. I see there's a rumor. What is this rumor from here? Hang on, it's all Oscars, but I don't know who this is. Jacob Elordi is rumored to have meetings with Denis Villeneuve, potentially to play Bond. I know who Showbiz was, so we'll see. But we are going to talk about Mr. Jacob Elordi. We're talking just Oscar predictions. If something comes up, and obviously if you're a patron, you can throw it in the chat or send in a super chat. But as usual, we do this for an hour. Let's grip and rip it. I'm trying to think next week. As I said, there's going to be 2 Travis and Taylor Told You. The new days, if you haven't heard, is the Tuesday and the Thursday, 11 a.m. PST. As I mentioned, just because there's lots of reviews that are happening on Sundays that drop on the Mondays, so it just didn't make sense to have that, Travis Told You, and SideQuest all 3 in a row. They kind of combat each other. So Tuesday, Thursday for the foreseeable future, 11 a.m. still time, unless otherwise. And that's why I go to Patreon, because there's still even a free tier where you can get updates. So yeah, today we're just talking about the Oscars and nominations. It is that time. Obviously, the Oscars are something that I love. As far as I grew up with them, used to watch them with the family. As you get older, obviously some things change, and some things, even something that happened today, as far as when the nominations were oh, really? Like, that's the best of the best, hey? It's all subjective. I think all of us have had that point in our film fandom when you're just growing up, like it was very important. And as I talked about before, and don't get me wrong, of course it's very important for the people in that business, agents, the stars, even to get nominated. You can be that Academy Award nominee. But as we've seen also before, is one, with the 10, lots of different choices, lots of variety. I feel we've had quite a few years of not always the best winner wins. Maybe it's political, maybe it's just the vibe. And again, it's subjective, so you can't know it, right? But I feel like there's just been years where everyone's like, other than the 10,000 people that voted, everyone's like, really, that's what happened there, hey? And the other thing is, like, it is big for their careers, but at the same point, it is not the way it used to be, right? When you won an Oscar, that would catapult you. You'd become the next it guy, it girl. Not so much anymore, right? Like, people talked about that before. I can't remember. Recently, someone just won the Oscar the last 3 years. Like, yeah, you'd think this would open up doors, but I just got offered the same role again and again and again. So, again, this is from a film fan, like a film point of view, film fans point of view perspective, where it is just a fun time, and it's good to see people recognized for their work. But at the end of the day, it doesn't it's life changing for them, but it's not like a scoreboard mentality. Like it shouldn't be for you. Like, if my favorite film of the year was nowhere nominated on here, a couple of them, right? That's completely okay. That's still my favorite movie, where some people get a little too worked up. Even some pundits that I like to follow, which sucks because I like their coverage, they get too worked up over the knee when, like, this is important for the history. Not really. In 3 years, you ask, hey, who won in 2026? A bunch of people aren't going to know. Majority of the world is not going to know. That's why it's going to YouTube. I'm sorry, but that's why it is going to YouTube and TV. The ratings have been down. Unless someone's getting slapped, the ratings are down most of the times. But I enjoy them because I like seeing people's work, and it is supposed to be the best of the best. And as I said before, a lot of people, I think, that hate on the Oscars, where the reason I don't is there's tons of films that I've seen that I maybe would have never before I get into the nominations here. The Holdovers is one where I saw a preview and I don't know about that, got nominated, went, okay, well, it's on the list, I got to watch it. That's one of my favorite movies of this decade. That's one of my favorite Christmas movies. Just, I don't know if I can be a favorite movie like top 100, but I love the movie. It might be. I fucking love The Holdovers, and I would have never watched the whole, not never, but I likely would have put it off unless for Oscars, right? I am a bit busier nowadays, so I don't get to see everything, but I try to make sure before Oscars I see majority of it. So yeah, let's get into it right now. Oh, one neck crack, two. Oh, got the three. That means a good cast. Here we go. So we're gonna talk about the big ones first, and like I said, that's pretty much all today's show. If something else comes up, some breaking news, maybe, but right now that's just that. And then yeah, Tuesday, Thursday, we'll be back with some news, stuff like that. Best Picture. Let me get a half screen here so I can watch the chat just in case something happens here that I don't want to miss. Oh, and thank you everybody also for the patrons. We're getting feedback already. We did the survey, and then we did the town hall. That's on for patrons. For the main feed, you will get that soon. Thank you for the words back already from people that have sent, whether they like enjoy the episode or just like, hey, you want thoughts on this? Here's more thoughts on it. Appreciate it, because you guys are audience. You guys steer the ship. Majority of the choices here are because of things you guys have said or wanted in the past. So listen to that episode whenever you get the chance to, and always give us feedback. That'd be kind. So and yeah, we appreciate it and we love you. Okay, so I guess we're starting off hot. Best Picture: Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. I'd say Train Dreams is like a bit of a surprise, but not really. Like, other than one, Train Dreams was one that I think was on the bubble, right? Because technically, what we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I thought we had 10 last year, so I feel like they're really trying to make sure there's 10. Because remember, there's some sort of like voting way where it's like, oh, if it goes a certain way, it's not 10, it could be 9, 7. But everyone's like, why isn't there 10? And to me, it's like, if it's gonna be 10, just pick 10 films, right? So Train Dreams, I think, was on the bubble, but not surprising. That is the point where lots of the Oscar stuff, because we got the Critics' Choice Awards and all that stuff, and the Golden Globes. By the time we get to the nominations, and lots of times by the time we get to the winners, especially once you get the DGA vote and the SAG, which is now the Actors Award, but I'll call it SAG, like a lot of those people that's the vote, the actors voting body, and they vote for the actor they think. And a lot of time people go, you know what, the actors think that, so we're gonna go that way. I think if you look up like the SAG and the Oscar lineup pretty well, and a lot of the later awards, so it's more about before and now a little bit after, because some things can change, right? If someone says something wrong, or maybe a speech gets said and it's really good and people go, oh, that'd be a great Oscar speech, right? So Train Dreams on the bell, but most of these we all thought were going to be in here. Man, there is one in here that should not be. And this is where, for me, because even Kirkland messed me, he's not an Oscars fan, but he loves F1, supposedly, but he loves F1, saw a movie, wasn't his cup of tea, but he mentioned like, it was nominated for Best Picture. F1 is the one that is just the black sheep here. That does not make any sense to me. I said on my it's a Patreon episode. Well, I gave a mini review of F1 on Patreon right now. Exclusive is me ranking every single film I saw from 2025. Right, I saw F1 to do a smaller version of that. First two acts are very. If you like Brad Pitt, great. They're very generic. Old veteran with young newbie, and will they clash and get along? Right. Until the third act, that movie to me was just like a solid 6 or 5. Like, it was very nothing special other than visuals and set, like technical stuff. I'm all down for that. That makes sense, right? But until the third act, which is great, the intensity of it, the he's flying moment, I could say it's amazing. I think they did a really great job with even the third act, as story-wise was predictable, visually, acting-wise, the intensity, the pacing of the editing, score, all great. So I get that. Does that warrant a Best Picture nominee? No. Because obviously the talk of the town is, hey, this would have been Way of Water spot, or this would have been Wicked for Good spot, which both we'll get into, but both big time disappointments here, I'd say, for no Academy for director, no best picture, and Wicked completely shut out. I know we'll get down to that in the best supporting, but I can talk about it now. Mike, I love you. I wish you took that pizza bet, because I'm telling you, with Way of the Water, both those films though, I thought it'd be something else, or just maybe be 9, but both, you can tell how things go. Even The Rock, right? I'm not trying to pick on Wicked. Rock, even for some people, didn't love the performance. I'd say most people, majority of people that have seen that movie, praise The Rock, right? Like fucking Christopher Nolan saying it's the best performance of the year, right? Whether he's just being nice, whatever, but still publicly saying stuff like that. To me, that is a situation where I'll say the people like myself that enjoyed The Rock and the Smashing Machine, but mostly his performance, saw that and went, wow, he's great, but this movie is just not good enough. I did not see, oh fuck, it's not Way of Water, Fire of Ash. I did not see Fire of Ash, but I got that feeling. Obviously, it's in here for some technical stuff. I got that feeling from everybody other than Kirkland Taylor. Like, this just isn't. This is not like it's tiring now. It's kind of like the trick is over, and the trick is still cool. It's still visually stunning, but it's like, to get those really upper tier nominations, that's not going to happen. And I said this in my review for it. I talked about this with Mike many times, because he was sure that Ariana Grande was going to win it, or maybe that was his heart bias coming in. But I was like, give me a pizza. But I threw that out multiple times. He never grabbed it, because I thought for sure she wasn't winning. Now, if you would have asked me last night, will she get nominated? Sure. But I also wasn't surprised I wasn't completely surprised she didn't get nominated, but there still is a factor of, wow, they really cut out from the knees. And to me, that was just, once that movie came out, it died. Same thing as After the Hunt with Julia Roberts, right? Like, there are some iffy movies that make it in there, but I know someone might throw up like Green Book or something else in there, right? Where it's like, oh, well, a bunch of us didn't like this film, but it's nominated everywhere, and clearly the Academy did, right? So to me, it's this thing of, there has to be a group of people, and clearly the group of people did not for Wicked, very minor on Avatar. So that's the thing where I was somewhat surprised. If I had to say yes or no, I would have said she'd be in there, but I wasn't surprised. And to me, that was just, once I saw that movie, I'm like, this kid, because I think we all have that, where we see, here's a good comparison. I'll keep going on nominees, don't worry, because we got a full hour and we're just talking Oscars, so I think we'll have time to cover it, especially, and I'm not doing full predictions if people are wondering that. My plan is, patrons, I still want to try on a weekend, a Saturday, Sunday, probably an afternoon, to do what we do as far as like, I'll do it, Travis told you, but it will be a Patreon Oscars prediction episode. That's my hope. February's a little busy. Blame Kirkland and Taylor. These fucking trips keep messing the schedule around. But that is the plan. If not, I'll still do a separate Travis Told You if I can't get together with people. So I might give mini predictions here, but not a full one. I think there's something like No Man Land, right? I was not a big fan of that film, but I would never say it's bad. I would never hit it on the acting or the directing. Just wasn't for me. And Chloe Zhao, I still don't seen Hamnet stuff. Not really for me. And I don't really know, like, I think if Hamnet wins Best Picture, I will. Like, I probably will. The old Oscar film junkie fan of me will. I just have no interest in that movie because of the plot, and also I'm not a big fan of Chloe Zhao as a director. I like her as a person. I think she's still a good director, but I just haven't responded to her films yet. And maybe this is the one, right? But that's something where I go, when I watch, I go, okay, I don't enjoy it, but I can see the group of people that does. Do I think it's big enough that they should have won? No. But that's where, even with movies like Wicked, for say, I can, for myself personally, feel like I can tell the difference. I know F1's in there, so I was surprised, but most of the time I can tell the difference of, oh, this isn't for me, that, oh, this is for me, but it's also not for the Academy Award voters. Like, it feels, and also the box office does play a bit in that. So yeah, that was completely shut out. April says no other choice, and it was an accident, should have got that spot. That's what I hear, and I'm like, don't get me wrong, I hate to be that guy, right? Because I'm fine with saying snubs, I'm fine with that, but what I want then is people, you have to say, that's why for me, right? Like, look at Hamden, why I'll probably watch it. If Jessie Buckley wins, and let's say for some reason, I've heard from everybody she deserves to win it, right? But let's say I didn't, I'd have to say, well, I don't think she should win. Why? Well, it could have gone to this person, this person, this person, because of that. I use the grandma mom effect, right? When I got older and started watching all those movies, like, oh, they shouldn't have won. It's like, why? Well, I really like this one. Did you see that movie? Well, no, I just didn't. It's like, well, you can't make a full-on assessment of that, right? So all I can say is, based, I'd say, April, on the public and the people I follow, those two films should have been over F1. I can't personally say that because like, granted, I promise you, April, I imagine I want to watch those two. No other choice is on the top of the list because I really like the guy. I can't remember his name, but the main actor. Ever since I saw him in GI Joe and the what is it? The Devil. I saw the Devil, right? Like, messed up stuff. I'm assuming I'm gonna like those movies more than F1, but I can't say that, right? There's other movies that I'd fucking put in Wallace and Gromit. I know people made a case for K-pop. I wouldn't go that far, but I could put in 20 Years Later. Like, there's other things that I could put in there, but yeah, either one instead of F1. Yeah, F1 it's a weird one. That's definitely, I feel like that's a lot of the old voter base as far as the people that were voting for movies the past 30 years that are still alive. That F1 feels like a dad, I'll say it, older white male movie. And like, I'm not a big car guy, but it definitely feels like that's the vibe there. So let's see here. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Best performance by an actor in a leading role. I'm just gonna say best actor, actress. This is weird breakdown, but thank you, CBC. So many. I get it. I run a thing online, SEO, clicks, everything. Even with podcasts earn us more if someone listens to the whole thing versus just clicking on it. I understand. So many articles was like, here's a nominee, and then between was like a bunch, all the breakdown. I get that, but it's like, I just want a clear list of just the nominees. So thank you, CBC. Not even trying to be biased to Canada, but thank you. Timothy Chalamet for Mighty Supreme, Leo for One Ballad After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and Wagner Moura, who's now on the Mall Show, for Secret Agent. No really surprise there. I think we're all kind of on that bandwagon that Timmy's getting it. It's not my official prediction, but I will, like I said, say a couple mini ones. But yeah, not really. Not like we all kind of thought that was happening, right? Best actress, Jessie Buckley, Rose Byrne. Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. I love the night she won the Golden Globes accidentally when they tweeted out her like on the red carpet with the award. They tweeted out the title would be If I Had Legs, I'd Kill You. That's a fun little slip up there. Renee Rensby as in Sentimental Value, Emma Stone in Begonia, and Kate Hudson in Song Sung Blue. Oh God, who was it? We were talking about that earlier. I gotta check the Discord because we were talking about it earlier, Mike and I wasn't surprised. Oh, Chase Infinity, right? Some people have that as a snub. Like I could see that. I can't take anyone out that I've seen here so far, right? I've only seen Begonia and If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. So that's why I always say for the ones I've seen, I cannot remove Chase Infinity there. I doubt with Renee, I would remove her because I just feel like the things I hear about her, she's a great actress. I'm excited to watch that. And Worst Person in the World because I've still yet to see that movie. So my plans to do a double feature. Hang on. I'm in a suit, got an itch in the back. You know what I got to do? Back scratcher. And I started to get to it. And Jessie Buckley seems like the powerhouse there. So no big surprise there. Infinity could have got in and I could have seen like I wouldn't have been shocked. It's kind of like the Ariana Grande thing. I wouldn't have been shocked, but I wasn't anticipating Chase Infinity getting here. I was anticipating this because also I've not seen the song Some Blue, but when that movie came out, every critic and their fucking dog was like, I think she's gonna get nominated, and kudos to them. She was right, so she must be given a really great performance. It's just that like almost it was decided like I think she's getting in, and she did. So people are down on Kate Hudson, but her performance really good. Yeah, like I said, I will eventually see that one. I think because I love Hugh Jackman, so I watch most of the stuff Hugh's in, but all the stuff I'm sure, and that's the thing, right? I'm sure it's a lot of film, Twitter stuff, and online people, and I get it with one battle after another. But in my opinion, I could be wrong. Don't always take it for granted, right? But from the acting talent we saw of Chase Infinity, I feel like she's going to be here several times. As long as she's got a good agent, I think she's going to be here several times. So I don't think you have to worry there. Like I think if you were asked Chase Infinity, I'm sure she was hoping for it, but just the fact that she's in the movie that will likely win Best Picture and she's one of the stars of, I think she'll be pretty happy in her young career. I think she's like what 3 or 4 credits. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's tearing down her room or whatnot. But yeah, like sure, we'll see. But yeah, we kind of all know Jesse's done. That's done. And I talked about this already earlier, but best performance by an actress in the supporting actress. Elle Fanning, Sentimental Value, Inga Esdati Lilas in Sentimental Value, Amy Madigan Weapons, Rooney Masaku in Sinners, and Tiana Taylor after One Battle After Another. As we talked about, yeah, Grande didn't get in here, Wicked didn't get anything in here, but once I saw Wicked, I thought that was over, and that's where I was talking about that with like Mike and Matt were having a conversation in our Discord, and I was there too. I'm with Maddie that last year I would have been fine. I still now don't get me wrong. I never saw Rosie Perez or not. No, what is it? Oh, someone in the chat. No, Rosie Perez is the actress. Damn it! What? Someone in the chat let me know the movie is always Eltana 1 for. But I never saw that because I had no interest in it, and most people just said it was awful. So it's not like Hamnet where I'm not interested in it, but I have enough people telling me how great it is. Amelia Press, thank you very much, April. She's the woman in the chair today. Yeah, not Rosie Press. Love Rosie Press. She's great. Great in Pineapple Express. Go get her, sex him, motherfucker. And she pulls him for the kids. And it was so bad. And that's all I heard, right? And that is one where that's like we're on the side of I like Green Book, okay? But Rosie Perez is on that side where a bunch of people in the Academy watched it, really enjoyed it, and they linked together, and that moved forward. So there's not much you can do there, right? So yeah, I am in that camp. If she would have won it last year, I think I still preferred like what was the 2025 Oscar nominations, because I know it's going to bring up a bunch of stuff. Let me see who. Oh God, let me give 1 second, just because I wanted to see before I talk about, because I do think this might have been Ariana on the show. So the nominees were Zoe Saldana, Amelia Perez, Felicity Jones and Brutalist, Monica Barbaro and A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande and Wicked, and Isabel Rosalina for Conclave. And she's great, but she's in there. Honestly, yeah, last year, like, there's some, because what I was expecting, I was going to pull it up and go, oh, sorry, Mike, and sorry, Matt, like, Maddie, like, I don't know why I called you Matt. We call you Matt, but like, sorry, like, yeah, I know you would have liked Ariana Grande to win, but I could push back because of this person. No, I think Ariana could have won last year, and that would have been more fitting. There's way more competition this year. And here's the thing, like, it is still a good performance, but as far like I've not seen Value, so I can't do that. For the ones I've seen, I put Madigan over her. I put Taylor over her. The Sinners pick is tough. I think they're pretty equal, because I think that she has way less screen time, but she has some heartbreaking scenes and some powerful stuff. But then Grande is very powerful in some scenes as well too, right? So that one's kind of interchangeable. So it's like, again, I was still fine with her getting nominated. That I just didn't think the win was happening. I think the win is still between Taylor and Madigan. And at first I thought Madigan, but now I'm feeling Taylor, especially if One Battle After Another, I think it's going to win director and best picture. It could start to stack up, right? And we didn't even talk about that. Sorry, with Sinners, with her nomination, she's one of those ones where Sinners has now broken the record. 16 nominations. Shout out to fucking Ryan Coogler, man. I'm very excited because I'm not trying to say I bought his stocks while he was low, but I remember during the Black Panther era being like, I trust in Ryan Coogler, man. And after Black Panther, he proved me right. I still say Black Panther is the best MCU movie, not my favorite, but the best. Because for me, saw Fruitvale Station, that was great. And then with Creed, I got to rewatch. I haven't seen that in a long time. Maybe I will in the lead up here. And then Creed. I don't give a fuck about the Rocky franchise. That's one of those franchises to me, Chris Balgo, if you're listening to this, and we would have done it, right? But when you put it as the retros, as one of the picks, I was like, oh no, I don't know if I want to go through these, because that's just in an era where there's a lot of like male macho machismo. Now, don't get me wrong, there's some stuff Sly does in there that is definitely not that, right? It goes against that, but I feel like it was adopted by like a dude bro mentality, where Creed to me was a different side of that, a different coin. He made me care about that franchise. Black Panther's amazing. I'm a defender of Black Panther 2, and then Sinners is amazing, right? Like, I think One Battle After Another will win. If we do the predictions, always what we do is who's your want and who's your think. Sinners is my want. My favorite film, which we're talking about it tonight in Golden Geeks, we'll see what happens, but like, my favorite film of the year is 20 Days Later, and then Sinners is number 2. I've not seen Sinners since theatrical, because I've been waiting for Emily. We're supposed to watch it this week. I've always said it could change, and even then, like, I have 28 Days Later there at the top, because like I said, the Mementos Mori scene, like, that scene is incredible, but really this is a year where that's like a 1A, 1B. So Sinners to me would be my want. It's an amazing movie. Coogler has the fucking sauce. He has the juice. He has the GV juice. He has the gasoline, all that stuff. I feel like his career is very, very similar to Nolan's, because he he didn't get nominated, right? Coogler for Panther. It was just the movie. Let me just confirm this. But like, again, shout out to him. As he was just a guy that I feel like when he got announced for Black Panther, there was not enough people giving him enough credit. And you go back on that review when we were talking, I was like, that's fucking Ryan Coogler, man. That's what he does. Like, he's so goddamn talented. Nominated for 5 Oscars. Let me see here. Let's see. Yeah, so he didn't. To me, his career is so like eerily similar to Nolan's. It's crazy where, okay, there's a couple films before their superhero thing. The Dark Knight comes out and becomes this massive thing, changes the Oscar rules, right? Black Panther comes out, this massive thing. First ever comic book movie to be nominated for a Best Picture, right? And then unfortunately, like for the sequel, like around that same time, co-star, main lead, a person passes away. That's huge in there. And like, I think Dark Knight Rises and Black Panther 2 are going to be very comparable because those aren't the movies he planned to do that, right? And then he does Nolan does Inception and he does Sinners. Now, Inception did not hit the same level as Sinners. Don't get me wrong. Technically, if you're comparing the career levels, like Sinners is like he's ahead of Nolan where he was. I think Nolan's earlier films were stronger. Like I still like would put Inception above Sinners. Yeah, I would. And then like still superhero stuff, I'd put that above. There's other stuff I would like. Creed doesn't hold a candle to some other than Nolan stuff, but still the career wise very comparable. And to me, I'm still saying like Ryan Coogler is one of the best working directors. Don't get me wrong. Like he is one of one right now. But it's like Inception where Nolan got. Or did he not get? Did he? It wasn't more like Dunkirk. Hang on, let me find it for Nolan. Christopher Nolan. I thought he got a nomination for Inception for directing. Let's see, Nolan. I could be wrong because now I'm thinking it's Dunkirk. Because again, if it wasn't Inception, then Coogler is like moving along. But I'm just saying there are tons of comparisons to those two. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, you got that in 2018. Okay, so what I was saying, he got best writing for it. Okay, so there you go. He didn't get the nom. So he's out of the game that way. And I just feel like I just feel like that way, like even if Dark Knight didn't get the nomination, Inception did, and it was almost like a make good for that. So very similar. But that's where, yeah, congratulations that whole team. 60 nominations, Oscar history. Now this is gonna be the tipping point, right? So the 3 movies before was All About Eve, La La Land, and Titanic. Titanic and All About Eve won Best Picture. La La Land famously did not. So now it's that thing of, okay, obviously it's 16, so it's past, but just in that realm of the most nominated films ever, is it going to be more a positive or not? I don't think it's going to be. I'm not saying it's impossible. I think with just the political leanings, with it being Paul Thomas Anderson, it's kind of like a final let's crown this guy. I don't think it's impossible. I think there could be a situation where I think PTA's director is locked, and then the movie's up from the thing. I think it could very much be like La La Land and Moonlight, where Giselle won director, but Moonlight won Best Picture. I could see it. There's a chance with this much nominations, it could happen. But at the same time, we see movies all the time, or even like Barbie or something, where it's like they didn't break the record, but they most nominated 12, 13, whatever, tons of nominees. I think Barbie almost got broke that record, right? With with Margot in there and a couple others they could have, but won nothing, right? Or really nothing. So it's not a guarantee, and we'll find out. But still a massive achievement. And yeah, I think the supporting actors and actresses are the ones that are up in the air. Best performance by supporting actor in a role: Benicio del Toro won after another, Jacob Elordi, Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo, and Sinners, which is the big surprise, Sean Penn won after another, and Stellan Skarsgård, Sentimental Value. I think this is like, other than Delroy, it's just like good that he's got nominated. I think anyone could win. I think even Elordi could. After One Battle After Another, I did say like that's Sean Penn's award. I think that's even my Letterboxd reviews. Like, oh, Sean Penn really has the juice just to win an Oscar at any point, right? 2 things. I do buy into the hype now that I do think Benicio and Sean Penn could split it, because I've seen so many people talk about Benicio. I love Benicio in that movie, but I just don't think he is like, in my opinion, holds the candle that Sean Penn does. Sean Penn, to me, that's probably... I think that's the performance of the year. It's him. I gotta see Jesse Buckley, so I'll see that. Like, you Chalamet, like it's close, but like I think Sean Penn's performance of the year. I do think them being in the same category hurts it. I think Benicio getting in there might have stopped it, and I also think this is a very much like a Fassbender 12 Years a Slave, where bad characters do win Academy Awards, but I think when it's more fictional bad characters, like a Hannibal Lecter, like a Joker, like a Joker for Joaquin. I'd have to look at that. Maybe that's a good evergreen topic we'll try and do before. I'll try to write that down as far as like bad guy roles that have won that, and how many are like fictional. And obviously Sean Penn is fictional, and Michael Fassbender are fictional, but they're based off really real people, right? In the sense of like, in today's climate, technically, yes, Hannibal Lecter is, but it's more heightened, right? So to me, him playing that role in this time with obviously Hollywood's more liberal leaning, there could be people that are like, I love his performance. The nomination's enough. I don't want to give the award to that type of role. So that's where it is. I still think he should win it, but I think anyone's sitting out there. And yeah, shout out to Delroy Lindo, who got in there. I can't remember, who did he bump? We kind of talked about that. He bumped somebody. I kind of thought if anyone got bumped, Plemons would sneak in there. And don't get me wrong, Delroy's great as well too. I would personally keep Delroy, and I would bump Benicio for Jesse Plemons, in my opinion. That's where I would go. I haven't seen Stellan Skarsgård yet, so I haven't done that. But yeah, this winner seems like this is kind of up in the air as well. Achievement in directing: Chloe Zhao as Hamnet, Chloe Zhao as Hamnet, John Safdie's Mari Supreme, which I was so pissed because a couple weeks ago I said that was locked. And Mike, I'll give you that. You kind of talked me out of it because you were saying some good points. It's like, yeah, maybe not, but I just thought there's like, because it's just such a director's like, feels like it's not, but just feels like guerrilla style, like very frantic, very like lucid type of directing. I'm like, I think he could do it. And then I kind of walked it back because I thought the locks were, I thought Chloe, my 5 was Chloe, PTA, Guillermo del Toro, and then 2 of the international directors. There's only one international director with Joachim Trier. I guess I should say him: Chloe Zhao, John Safdie, Paul Thomas Anderson, Joachim Trier, and Ryan Coogler in Sinners. I wasn't sure about Ryan Coogler like everyone else was. I thought this could be his Inception Nolan. I know lots of people like we're talking about the awards, but like look at Dune Part 2. That got tons of awards, didn't it? Like the technical stuff. Denis wasn't anywhere, right? Same thing as, I know, not the exact same thing because I don't think I got the technical, but Argo fucking won Best Picture. Alan Arkin won Best Supporting Actor. Did it win Screenplay or anything? Let's see. Argo. We're at 30 minutes. Okay, we're doing good. Argo won 3 Oscars, and Ben Affleck was not nominated. I thought there was a chance that, because I just feel like we wake up, I thought there's a chance we're going to wake up to like Coogler not nominated. I was going to, and the internet was going to be freaking the fuck out. But happy for him. I think he obviously deserves it. To me, as far as the Best Pictures, that should be winning. So for me, absolutely deserves it. I just wasn't sure it was a lock, especially to the things that hurt Sinners, where La La Land wasn't hurt, and even Titanic. Sinners is still not at its core, but the back half of its core is a horror movie, and there might be enough people go, I don't know if it could be. That'd be another reason why I'd love it to win, because we haven't had like a real full horror movie like where it's fucking vampires ripping people up. In that sense, there's horrific things in some of the Best Picture movies, but a real movie that's classified as horror win Best Picture and forever. What could it be? Silence of the Lambs, maybe? I don't know. So I'm rooting for him, but that also could make it harder for some people that look at that franchise or that genre and don't love it, right? Animated film: Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie and the Character of Rain, and then Zootopia 2. That makes much sense. Which I always like that we get the screenplays because I never know exactly what's going on there. But adapted screenplay: Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. I think that's gonna just go to One Battle because I feel like lately, look at Honora. Honora, Oppenheimer, and Parasite. I feel like a lot of times when the Academy and a lot of people love a certain movie, they go just boom, 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 name all the same ones. Original screenplay. Yes, and Plemons. Yeah, April, you're right. He is a lead, and that's where. Let me go back up. That's where, like, Emma Stone, to me, as I've said many times the past couple months, especially when we talk about the Batman rumors, I think Emma Stone is the best actor in the world. Doesn't matter what genre. Doesn't matter, like, or gender. Him, her, they, them, non-binary, whatever it is. Emma Stone's just the best actor there. I do think Plemons was better than her in Begonia, but that's because of the role he got, right? Like, very juicy role that you have to hit. If it's juicy and that character's so wild and it doesn't hit, it could bring the film down or just kind of make the actor look exposed. But he was phenomenal. So let's say we play it that way. If we go performance by an actor in a lead role, I've not seen Blue Moon or Secret Agent. So would I bump? So Michael B., Leo, and Chalamet. Like, in my opinion, I've not seen Blue Moon, so I can't do that way. I think most people would probably bump Hawk for Clements. So in my case, I've only seen the three. I think Timmy's gonna win. I'd want Timmy to win, so I don't bump for that. So I'd have to see those other two to make a statement. So that comes down to Leo. I think Leo is great in that movie, so that'd be a hard bump. That's one of those where it'd be like an equal to me of like, okay, Clemens got in, very impressive role. So that's lead actor's a tough one, right? And then let's see, original screenplay, Blue Moon. It was just an accident. Mari Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. That's a tough battle. Sinners, and because I wasn't sure if Mari Supreme, because I heard it was based on a guy, but then as I looked into it more, we talked about After Nine, it's like loosely based on a guy. But when it was April kick Leo for Plums, yeah, I could get on board with that. Like I'm kind of like interchangeable on them. With I was waiting to see where Marty and Sinners were. This could be Sinners kind of make good, right? If the Academy goes with one battle after another with everything, and especially because one battle is already going to win adapted screenplay, then I go, you know what? This is where I'll give it, because technically Coogler will become an Academy Award winner, right? So like he's winning an award for that fucking screenplay. So that's a tough one. Marty could still get it because that's very dialogue and snappy heavy, but we'll see. International feature film, The Secret Agent. It was just an accident. Sentimental Value. Sarat, the voice of Hind Rajab. Documentary feature. We won't talk about because I haven't seen any, so I don't have much to add there. Achievement and makeup and hairstyle. Oh, good. Okay, I was wondering because I saw April. You said that Shudder got its first ever Oscar nomination. This is where it was. So Frankenstein, Kahuho, Sinners, The Smash Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister, which is on what is it? Shudder. Fantastic for them. That's great. Like that is obviously, of course, in our life and our whatnot, we're making our movies because we enjoy them and we always have stretch goals. So yeah, who knows if that ever happens. I don't put them my barometer to be happy because you could never control everything. But being on something like Shudder with all that stuff, that would be definitely one of our goals and our like bucket list stuff for our Geek vs. Horror film to me. And I still want to watch the movie. It's on my watch list. That's awesome that service doing those things can get the award recognition. This could have went easily to someone else from some other big one. Just like, I'll give it to one of the MCU or Superman, like something like that, right? So very cool. Very happy for Shudder. That's awesome. Achievement music and original score, Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. A lot of people I saw Hansy's brought out were surprised by Mari Supreme not being there. I enjoyed the score. I didn't enjoy the score as much as other people. And also we talked about After Nine. It felt like One Battle After Another was a bit more controversy. I love that score. You can't not give it to Sinners with all the music and how it plays into that movie, but I love the Oba score as well. But yeah, I haven't seen Hamlet, so I don't know, but all worthy nominees to me. First time ever for this award, achievement in casting: Hamnet, Mari Supreme, One After Another, Secret Agent, and Sinners. So there, it's tough, right? Because I guess I know what I am down for this one because it's tough because I was going to say, isn't that the same where the best cast would be in the best picture, right? But obviously lots of times the director is like, look at Ben Affleck. He didn't win an award for directing article, but he won an award for producing it, right? But a lot of times casting directors, they're not going to be in that award at all. So I'm for this. I just think it's a little samey. I think you could just get the same winner there, but maybe they'll split them. I don't know. This was another weird fucking one. Best achievement in costume design: Avatar, Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Mari Supreme, and Sinners. There's two I'd take out of there. Mike, you made a point. That's why you join the Discord, because we have tons of conversations in there. So if you're ever like, why am I just on the random people? That's why I joined Volley. We have the Oscars channel, we got football channel, we got wrestling channel, regular channel, video games channel, bunch of stuff in there. So I love being there. It's my favorite place in social media. I always credit Dilmas for creating that thing. Avatar, Fire and Ash, or sorry, what I was talking about with Mike. He's right that there's always like a older, time drama film that's in there. I'm not saying the costumes of Mari Supreme were bad, but nothing like Academy Award driven, in my opinion. And Avatar, Fire and Ash, tons of those people aren't even wearing costumes. They're wearing the fucking CGI suits. So Yeah, I don't know. I think Sinners could. Oh no, I think Frankenstein will probably win this one, deservedly so. But yeah, it was a weird one. Achievement in musical original song, "Dear Me," Dionne Warren. This is always my favorite when there's a bunch of movies I've never heard of. And it's like, well, we got to fill this fucking category, as Liam would say, fill the five, right? So, "Dear Me," Diane Warren, "Relentless," "Golden," K-pop Demon Hunters, "I Lied to You," Sinners, "Sweet Dreams of Joy," "Viva Veridi," and "Train Dreams" from Train Dreams. I get why Golden will win. I wish it was Sinners because I think Golden's very snappy, but it's got enough. Its play. I think "I Lied to You" is like a really plays in towards the movie of Sinners, but I get it. The shorts and stuff I'm not going to go over because I don't have much to say there. I have zero opinions. Production design, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle for Another, and Sinners. Yeah, some good ones there, but again, lots of the similar winners, right? Achievement in film editing, F1, Marty Supreme, One Battle for Another, Sentimental Value, Sinners. And that's what's tough with like some of these, like the editing and the sound and the visual effects. I guess not that one, but there's some of these, that's where some of us lose in the Oscar pool because it's those little awards you get dinged on, you know? Achievement in film editing, I think it's this, but if not, but F1, Marty Supreme, One About After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. Um, yeah, I'd have to think about it if there's anything missing from there. But like the ones I see in here all work for me and like are good options. Achievement in sound, F1, Frankenstein, One About After Another, Sinners, and Surratt. Yeah. Achievement in visual effects, Avatar Fire and Ash, F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, Lost Bus and Sinners. I actually wouldn't have Rebirth in here. I don't know why I would put it in, so I guess I can't say I wouldn't, but I just felt like there was some stuff in there that was sometimes not looking good. I think I'd have to let me take a look here. Let's look at my letterbox and see if anyone has any suggestions too for visual effects that would have been great that would have been missed. Let me know, but I'll go lists 2025. Like even Frankenstein, fuck, I'd rather put that in there. Let's see here. God, give me the black phone. Oh, how is like, yeah, you know what? This to me is the biggest one because for me, this is a movie that I really enjoyed, sometimes love, not because the actors, not because the writing, not because the story. How is Tron Ares non-visual effects? It's so funny. The original Tron was not allowed in Aiden because they had the computer effects, and that was one of the first movies to do it at that time, and they felt that was cheating, so they couldn't have it in there. Yeah, how is Jurassic World over Tron Ares? That to me is that's a stub. Tron Ares to me is the reason I love that movie. And love. I don't have a 10/10. I think I gave like an 8/10, but still, like the reason I loved portions of it. It feels weird to say I love Tron Ares. I really enjoy Tron Ares, but I love the visuals and the everything on screen. How that didn't get in there, crazy. Achievement in cinematography, Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. So yeah, I don't know if I'll see Train Dreams. I'll have to think about that one. I love Joel Edgerton, so I probably will try to get around to it at some point. I've just heard it's very slow, but I do love me a good Edgerton Vaughn. So maybe maybe I'll get there. Let me look at this article. I had one article that was like the snubs of this year. Let me see if I agree if any that I've missed anything. Yeah, that is kind of I forgot about that. Wow, yeah, I forgot that the Testament of Anne Lee because I thank God I don't have to see that. Mike, I can't remember if you saw that or you're going to be seeing that, but thank God I have no interest in that movie. It's an old time musical. I love Amanda Seyfried, don't get me wrong, but I had no interest in seeing that movie and it got nothing. Even because yeah, who are the best actresses? Because I know there was lots of talk for Amanda. Um, Buckley, I guess Hudson, that could have been that role too, right? Hudson could have went to Seyfried. I wonder what people feel about that. I wonder. Oh, so I guess people already are not happy about the Chase Infinity thing, but I wonder if you take Infinity out, how would people feel about Hudson versus Seyfried? Visual effects, How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah, that like from what I saw, like I didn't see the whole movie, so it's tough for me to gauge. But I'll just take your word just because like there is some bad actual effects to Jurassic World. That was even something Taylor brought up where he loves those movies, but this go around because it was rushed. You felt that it was rushed in some scenes. It didn't look the greatest. So let's see. Yeah, I just got a variety, surprise and snubs. So we talked about a snub, Wicked Left and Cold. Do I think that's snub? No, I don't. I really don't. I'm sorry. I don't think it is that. Let's see here. Snub, Chase Findy. Could I put it as a snub? Like no, like I like don't get me wrong, it's like a miss out, but I don't think it's what like a snub to me is one that was a lock, and like Denis is for Doom. That's a fucking snub. Ben Affleck's Argo. That's a snub. Um, or an unjustified winner, right? Let's see here. Delroy Lindo was a surprise. Absolutely. I think that was a surprise. Snub was Paul Mescal. Pass for Hamnet. Maybe. I obviously I will try to see this at some point. I felt like for me, I saw this in the Discord where it felt like when that movie came out, he had it, but I saw a lot of pundits and a lot of people. Like, it just felt like as it went down and I saw his gold derby, it felt like clicking down and down. So I wasn't actually surprised by this. I've heard like not mixed on his performance, but mixed on him being an actual nominee. I felt like there were not from bodies, but I just feel like enough people talk to people. Surprise Kate Hudson. I wasn't surprised, but I can see why this is a surprise for some people. But again, I guess it's just circles I followed that so many people were predicting she would get in there. Snub Superman misses FX a nod. Like, I think with Tron and even Dragon, I'd put that above Superman. Maybe I haven't seen Dragon, but I'll take April's word for it. Superman, I would put above Jurassic World as well. I don't know if it's a best picture one. There's still some iffy, one floating head part, but I wouldn't. Not a snub to me. A surprise. Elle Fanning scores supporting nom. I guess she was maybe on the bubble, but I just felt like she was in a lot of the other nominations, right? So I wasn't surprised by that. Snub, no other choice. Yeah, I haven't seen that, but from my timeline, how people speak of the film, I think it's a sub or a snub. Snub Weapons misses best original screenplay. Hey, let me take a look one more time at the best original screenplay nominations. Original Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Mari Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. So like the one just based off reaction, I feel like you could take Blue Moon out of that and then put Weapons in there, because I do think it's creative. I think with Weapons it just comes down to that third act, and I think I don't dislike as much as other people, but I think there's stuff where once the trick is revealed in the movie, it's I don't know. I think it's not so much the idea and like the dialogue. I think that's great. I think it's just some of the pacing. I think some of those stories, I've said could have been condensed or shortened. So, and then for the ones I've seen, Mari Supreme, no, I couldn't get over that. And Sinners, no, I couldn't go over that. So, Sorry Baby over Weapons. Yeah, I've seen that as well too. I'm surprised that also got shot. I thought it could sneak into the screenplay, but it didn't. So I've seen that around too. Surprise for Ugly Stepsister. Yeah, I think that absolutely was that. Here's another one. Snub, Jay Kelly shutout. Which again, we all have those films, right? Because Hansi said that in the Discord. She's like, "Oh, I don't gotta fucking watch Jay Kelly." I really enjoyed Jay Kelly, but I've said it before. I think for the sentimental values and the ending, one of my favorite endings of the year. And also, I'm not a all-time movie star, but it is a guy dealing with his career and his job versus how he's raised his family, or looking back on the mistakes he made, right? And in that episode, the Patreon episode where I ranked all movies I saw last year, I talked about how that ending really hit with me of having kids. And I've said it before, I try my best. Like, I got my day job, I got the podcast job, I got the filming job. I try to stay healthy and do some gym stuff, and then maybe some extra stuff for me. And then obviously I lump Emily into the family stuff, but that's where it's just like, at times you can get overworked, and luckily I don't forget. Luckily that's what I try, but I just there's those moments where just like, you might not even take a minute longer to appreciate what's happening, right? Because it moves fast. So Jay Kelly, I was not surprised. I don't think it was enough, because that I felt like was the Paul Mescal thing. You could just feel it losing momentum as we got closer. Surprised F1 gets a Best Picture nom. Absolutely. Snub doesn't get a casting nom. Yeah, I guess it could have got in there, because what are the ones for that again? Let me just see. Casting. Because obviously some great actors in there. Hamnet, the only so Mari Supreme, no. One Battle, no. Secret Agent and Sinners, I can't speak to Secret Agent. There, no. The only one about Hamnet is I just feel like I just hear about Mescal and Buckley. Now, I'm not saying that's bad casting, but to me, the best casting should be almost for like an ensemble. So on surface value, without seeing either of them, I would feel like value should get it over that. But again, just me speaking my ass. Snub for Jennifer Lawrence's ferocious performance of Die My Love. Clearly someone in Variety likes Jennifer Lawrence. I think she's great. Same thing. Could I take anyone out? I loved that. Could have been like, it's up there with her best performance. I'll say I have to actually think about if it was, but it's up there. So best leading lady again. Let's see. I would I'd bump Emma Stone. I know this is, after all these weeks of me praising Emma Stone, I would bump Emma Stone for Jennifer Lawrence in that movie. I still think Emma Stone is the better actor that over everybody, but just it still comes down to performance. So I can't speak to Buckley; she's not a winner. Rose Byrne, I think those are kind of equal. If same thing, I haven't seen Kate Hudson. I'd probably bump her too once I saw it, just because I feel like Lawrence is ferocious in that movie. But yeah, I would bump that. Yeah, Anne Lee Left Out in the Cold, crazy. I thought that movie had so much hype when it came out, and really didn't go there. Let's see. My Cyrus Snub for original song. All right, sure. And I guess you could say this is snub Del Toro for best director slot, right? Because director, who do we got there? And I got less than 10 minutes. So we're gonna wrap this up in here in just a second here. But let's see, director. Um, now, okay, so Safdie and Marty Supreme, I think they're comparable. And let's see. So PTA I wouldn't bump. Coogler I wouldn't bump. I can't speak to Trier, and I can't speak to Zhao in a sense, right? For personally, unless something changes, if Hamnet is very much like her other movies, I would easily bump her. For cinema, I'm kind of, I won't say snub, but I'm surprised that Safdie and Trier made it over Del Toro. I thought he would have gone there, especially because Del Toro is one of those, it's like, I guess because Elordi's the only acting on, but it's in a lot of other places, right? But I guess there's some bigger ones where it's only Elordi in there. It's non-screenplay. Obviously, it's non-director. Like, it just kind of, you can tell that it's definitely like in the B tier for the Academy Awards, and that's great. But at the same time, unless it is, I loved Frankenstein. I wouldn't put it over for directing the, well, no. Here's the thing. I wouldn't put it over Coogler and Sinners. I think that and PTA are very similar, but this sounds bad. But because PTA hasn't won before, I would lean to him. I feel less bad for the snub people when they've won before, because I think Del Toro's okay. I think he's happy to be here. And I also snub to me is like, it is like, let's say like Nolan, right? Let's say he had won for Dunkirk, right? I wouldn't have liked that, but he would have won for Dunkirk. If the year Oppenheimer come out, he didn't win. Obviously, he had won before, so it wouldn't feel as bad. But I would feel like that as a snub. To me, it has to be a shadow of a doubt. Boom! This is, in like obviously opinion based, the best film of the year. I can't say about Frankenstein. I love Frankenstein. I gave that thing a 5. I'm gonna watch again here soon. But I'm not so passionate about that way where I think it's snub they didn't get in. I'd put it over everything but Sinners. That's fair enough, April. Okay. Let's see. Was there any other surprise? The Last Bus Lands nominated. Okay, there you go. And that was it. That's everything, I think. That's all the categories. So yeah, look out. I will, when we get closer, do that. We're doing our Oscar nominations, the Golden Geek nominations tonight, where there's a lot of films in here. We're much more on the popular side, obviously, right? It's kind of like a geek sci-fi genre one, so look out for that. And if you want, the patrons, you get to vote. We make the nominees, but you vote on the winners. There's only 4 of us, and you guys greatly, luckily, continue to outpace us as far as the numbers. So you decide. So if you want to vote, that's one where you can just join the $1 tier and up. Everyone gets to vote on that. That's a patron on the paid tier. So thank you, April, for being in the chat and providing some stuff in there when I was lost for some and some back and forth there. And thank you everyone that listened after the fact. Thank you everyone watched live. And I will be back next Tuesday with Taylor for Trust Told You, and it will not be boring. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Gamer did win. Yeah, he did win for Chihuahua. That's why I'm fine with it. But when I hear from next.